There we go. Hello. Hello and welcome to Not Too Late, the only late night show that's on Yelp, if you can believe it. This week we are doing things a little bit differently. We're going to dive into the news for the week, and then our special guest is going to join us for an interview you do not want to miss. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Not...
Oh, there it is. Yeah, jump the gun.
My bad.
Got
Welcome back to Not Too Late. It's time to check out this week's top stories. Harvey Weinstein has been convicted of some sex crimes. Yeah, some planes fly. A swarm of nearly 40,000 bees attacked police officers who were responding to a call about a single bee sting. In response to the bees, the police did what they usually do first: shoot them. A wrongfully convicted man who spent 23 years in prison will receive $1.5 million from the state of Kansas. I don't know what the problem was, though. I'd rather rot in jail than live in Kansas.
I'm from Kansas.
Are you really?
Yeah, that joke offends me a little bit.
My bad.
You're from Indiana.
Sure am.
39-year-old David Arias, the Zamboni driver for the Carolina Hurricanes, filled in as the emergency backup goalie for the team when all of the goalies were injured. The story is cool and all, but who the hell drove the Zamboni? A BYU pole vaulter snagged his scrotum during a jump and had to get 18 stitches to repair the damage. Here's hoping next time that he keeps all his eggs in the basket.
An Amber Alert went off for a toddler that hasn't been seen in 2 months. She was last seen making this face. A drone has captured footage of hundreds of South Koreans queuing for mask and Daegu, one of the epicenters of the coronavirus outbreak in the country. I don't know what's scarier, the threat of coronavirus or the thought that drones will watch us as we all die in a zombie apocalypse. And now for Tucker and I to play a game of Joke Me Off, using the same story we both wrote a punchline. Let's see who did it better. After building a rocket to prove the Earth is flat, Mad Mike Hughes died in, surprise, a rocket crash. In the flat earther community, it will forever be known as the shot heard across the world.
And now for mine. Mad Mike Hughes, a former limo driver who claimed to be the world's greatest daredevil, attempted to launch himself 5,000 feet into the air on a steam-powered rocket when his parachute failed. The rocket crash resulted in Mad Mike Hughes becoming much like his view of the Earth: flat. LSU Heisman winner Joe Burrow reportedly has 9-inch hands, which is the smallest by #1 pick quarterback since 2003. But in my personal experience, they work just fine. Santa Monica Public Library is in hot water after an adult film was shot in the library during operating hours. The title of the film is still pending, but I beg that they don't go with something lazy like the Doomy Decimal System. Why not Bookworm Adventures, or if you're feeling really risky, The Breeding Rainbow?
A sandstorm stranded travelers in the Canary Islands of Spain. At least it's the Canary Island and not some other more nefarious bird. Imagine getting stranded in the Emu Islands and getting your baby stolen, or the Raven Islands and being trapped in a palatial estate filled with the finest vintages. And a ghost? In a recent study, scientists concluded that if you drive an expensive car, you're probably a jerk, but didn't we already know that? That's it for the news this week. We'll be right back.
Hey man, are you going to class right now? Are you like running late?
No.
So I'm just going to ask you some questions and I just want to hear your responses on it. Is that all right?
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. So what's up?
It's Friday. Nothing much. Is that it?
My name's Aaron for Not Too Late. You know, interviews can be a little bit difficult. So we thought, why not make it easier on ourselves? We're here on IU's campus asking students, what's up? Hey guys, are you busy right now? Can I borrow you for like a couple of minutes? Are you in a rush right now? Hey, are you in a rush right now? God damn, I'm doing a segment for a show called Not Too Late with IUSTV. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
Well, that's pretty lame. It's a great show and you should watch it. So anyways, we're just out here interviewing some people and we just want your honest opinions. Is that all right? Cool?
Sure.
First question, what's up?
I think it's pretty good. I don't know. There's nothing. I'm just.
What's up?
Not much. Just got back from a test. Not too good.
What's up?
Just heading to class.
I'm just walking to class.
What's up?
It's a good Friday, I would say. The weekend is coming up. I'm all excited. My assignments are done for the first time.
What? Just the day, just going to work, you know, out here, just gotta make money. What's up with you?
What's up?
Sky, I guess.
True. There's not much in the sky right now, but that's about it.
Hey, excuse me. Buddy, my name's Aaron with Not Too Late. Can I ask you a couple of questions? Wait. I just want to ask you what's up. What's up, man? I don't think he wants to talk. Hi, my name is Aaron for Not Too Late. Can I interview you for something? I just have a question for you. What's up? That guy just screamed at me. I'm lactose intolerant. It's the worst, man.
Everything all right, Sebastian?
Yeah, I'm all right. I just had a crazy dream and I didn't really get much sleep last night.
All right, buddy. Tell me about your dream. What's on your mind, kiddo?
Well, you know, I was at the championship match at Wimbledon, and I was up against Greta Thunberg, and she hit this just like thumping line, and I was scurrying, trying to get it. Then I tripped on my shoelace, and it was just.
You call that a dream?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what real dreams are made of. 1998, the year the FDA approved Viagra. The year the Monica Lewinsky scandal made the news every month, and most importantly, the year I was born, June 16th. That's when the dream began. Not some stupid, childish dream about facing off against Greta Gerwig at the Masters. No. This is an important dream. Like a dream that wears a suit and goes to fancy parties and uses copper straws. Sebastian, did you ever have dreams growing up?
Yeah. No,
Because I did. I had lots of dreams. Maybe even 8 at one time. That's a lot for a kid. I would know. I was a kid. I had those dreams. Were you ever a kid, Sebastian?
Yeah, no, I was.
So full of wonder and life? Were you?
Yeah.
Never mind that. This isn't like any of the dreams my parents had for me either. Like becoming a successful accountant, or successful lawyer, or even successful. This is something that I manifested. Something that is about to manifest itself. Do you know what manifest means?
Yeah, it means like.
Of course you don't, because it's a word that I just myself learned today. My dream began freshman year.
I thought you said it began in '98.
My dream begins when I say it begins, Sebastian.
Yeah, sorry.
As I prepared for the biggest meeting of my life, pitching Not Too Late. Back then it was called Surprisingly Not That Late. I know. Foolish freshman Tucker could hardly wipe himself. But he was pitching a whole TV show. Somehow I got through the pitch and I thought I was in the clear, but then they asked me one final question. Tucker, what's the end goal of your show? An end goal for a late night show? My head was spinning like a child in an office chair. What's the end goal? I didn't even have a start goal. But as fate would have it, I watched Zombieland that morning instead of preparing for my pitch. Jesse Eisenberg, I blurted out, we are going to have Jesse Eisenberg as a guest on the show. The room went silent. I thought I made a huge mistake. After a few moments, the leading member of the funding board uttered a single word. Magnifique. A single tear caressed his cheek as he shook my hand and thanked me for my time. Flash forward to today. After 5 seasons of joking about Jesse Eisenberg showing up for some fun hijinks, that dream is finally coming true. Thanks to a spur-of-the-moment decision to choose Jesse Eisenberg over Woody Harrelson or Emma Stone. The unbelievable coincidence that he actually has a connection to Bloomington and the hard work of everyone here at Not Too Late, we are proud to welcome our guest, Jesse Eisenberg. After the break, we'll be right back. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Drew with Not Too Late. I believe everybody has something to sell, whether it be an idea, a product, maybe even yourself. Give me your elevator pitch for it. Pitch in 30 seconds. What's your elevator pitch?
Okay, imagine you're in a movie and you walk in and it's sunny, like right now. And then you walk out and it's raining. And you're like, crap, my umbrella's in my car. By the door, there's plastic single-use umbrellas.
What sort of environment do you think that you could get this pitch done in?
I know Mark Cuban went here, so Shark Tank, hit me up.
Do you have an elevator pitch?
Well, I mean, I did have this dream about a scary, movie plot. So basically it starts out as, a youth group, and then, they're calling out teens for their sins, and then they try to kill them. And then there's lobster monsters that come in and try to get them.
What do the lobsters signify then?
Nothing.
Wow. Now that's a pitch.
It is.
30 seconds, random idea.
They already have those therapeutic apps or whatever that help you asleep or stuff like that, but maybe something to actually chill out or manage anxiety.
What kind of features would you want in a mental health app?
Somewhere where you could talk to real physicians or get in contact with like-minded people or people having the same troubles and networking and stuff like that.
Wow, this is totally practical. I'm out here making jokes, and you're making something change. No, you're making things that are changing lives. Do you have an elevator pitch?
Television and media glorify the rich people and famous people's lives, and I want there to be reality TV shows about people like you guys.
What buzzwords are you using to describe this show then?
Reality, but actually reality.
Reality, real reality.
Yeah.
Do you have an elevator pitch?
Oh yeah, something to help us with anatomy. Nursing is really hard.
I would imagine. What sort of thing do you think you could bring out there in the world that would help out all of your fellow nursing majors?
Just something that had all the answers.
All of the answers? All of them?
All of them.
To any question?
Any question on the exam.
Oh, on the exam. Okay. Any other last comments on your wonderful product that you're pitching here?
Nope.
So as you can see, people have got some very interesting ideas to express. I'm glad that everybody was able to give me their elevator pitch. Back to you. Back to you, Tried and True.
Thank you. Welcome back to Not Too Late. You may know our guest from his book, Bream Gives Me Hiccups and Other Stories, or maybe from his career as a playwright with plays like The Spoils or Happy Talk. And if you don't know him from those, you definitely know him from his film career, where he has starred in movies like The Social Network, Batman v Superman, Zombieland, The Art of Self-Defense, and many more. Welcome to the stage, Jesse Eisenberg. Welcome.
Hello. This is happening.
How are you doing today?
I feel like I'm in your acid trip, but I'm okay.
Hopefully that's a good thing.
It's all right. Thank you so much. It's unknown. Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. I watched your compilation video. It's very funny. It's very funny. It's very efficient to get through. And you're a very funny person, so thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you.
I know.
All right. In the past, in interviews, you've touched on how some of your characters can bleed into your everyday life.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, how do you keep some characters like Lex Luthor or other big bads out of your everyday life? How do you keep them separate?
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure the tone of this. Okay, we're going to do a real thing. I didn't know if I'm going to be mocked or somebody's going to throw something at my face.
No,
Okay.
We're not that mean.
I didn't know. Okay, I just always assume I'm going to be attacked, and then if I'm not, it's a good day. So, yeah, I don't know. Some people go nuts. Some actors, go crazy, or they become empowered. If they're playing a character who's like a king or something, they become almost despotic. I've seen that happen sometimes. Similarly, people who play characters who are always put upon or victimized, you see that almost infect their life in a way that could be unhealthy. Luckily, I'm surrounded by people who are not in the arts, and so they're not constantly questioning their own ego. My wife and best friend are both teachers, and my son is a baby, and so like they're not kind of obsessed with their own artistry. And so if I'm surrounded by people like that, there's no tolerance or there's no patience for kind of indulging too much.
So speaking more on acting, when you write plays, often you star in them, and I'm curious as to how that process is different from just picking up a script and reading it and playing that part versus writing for yourself. How does that process differ? How does it change?
Well, like I try to write about things that I'm kind of most embarrassed about, whether it be my own ignorance about certain issues or my own like anxieties, and I try to kind of like make those that much more extreme, both so that they're entertaining and also so I can kind of explore it in myself. You know, the thing I know better than anybody is my own mind and the kind of dark recesses of it. And so when I write about like these horrible things, like I had this dream when I was younger, it's so disgusting I don't want to say it even on this show, despite everything that you've said about me. And so it became like kind of the plot element of this play. I wrote The Spoils, and it's such a dark, disgusting thing I would never even tell anybody, but I put it in a play, and there's some kind of cathartic thing about putting the thing that you're most afraid of into this very public thing. And I don't know why. Artists do it all the time. They have this thing they would never tell another human being, but they put it in a public forum. And it's just this weird way of kind of exercising that, I don't know, that strange part of your mind.
Speaking of dreams, this is a bit of a tangent. When you were younger, you wanted to play basketball for the Phoenix Suns.
Sure, yeah, of course.
What happened?
When I stopped growing, apparently they require a certain skill set and height and discipline, and you have to show up and all that stuff, and I didn't do any of that. I just really liked it. Basketball used to be all Jewish. Like my dad grew up playing with tons of guys, many guys who went to the NBA, because he was born in Queens, and there was a lot of Jewish guys who went to the NBA in the 50s, 60s. So I kind of, I don't know, it was like kind of my dad's hope when he was a teenager, but it was kind of more realistic for him. And now, obviously, it wasn't. And then we don't even live anywhere, near Phoenix. We were in New Jersey.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say, why was it the Suns?
Because they used to play the Bulls. This was like before you were born. The Suns and the Bulls were like great rivals, and everybody liked the Bulls where I lived, and so I just liked the Suns, just to be different.
Just to be a contrarian?
Sure, yeah.
So speaking of your youth, I recently learned that one of your first breakout roles was when you were 13. You played Ebenezer Scrooge in a musical.
Oh, yeah.
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 Do you still do musicals ever? You ever thought about going back to musicals? And have you ever thought of reprising the role of Ebenezer Scrooge?
Reprising the role of Ebenezer Scrooge. But no, actually, so I was just an understudy, which meant like I had to sit backstage for like 75, 80 shows or something, and some other kid did the show. And then he said I could do one show, so he called in sick. It was a Monday night, which is the worst night, because it's the time where not as many people come to see the show. So he gave me that one show, I don't think I was good enough to do it more than I don't think I was good enough for the Tuesday show. Yeah.
So you're not a singer anymore?
I sing sometimes, but I don't do it professionally. It just requires like a whole separate discipline that I don't have.
So I can imagine you get approached by fans all the time, and in our industry, elevator pitches are a huge thing. Do you have any fans who have just come up to you and just given you the craziest elevator pitch you've ever heard?
Listen, the first movie I was in, I was 18 years old, and the reason the movie got made is because the director, they cast me from like, I was in performing arts high school, and then the director of the movie ran into a guy in a coffee shop, and then that guy paid for the movie. It was a series of coincidences that made me realize that I don't discount anybody's pitch, because sometimes it could turn into something great. Partly, sometimes it doesn't work out well, which is why I'm here right now, and sometimes it does work out well, which is why I was in that movie.
So once when you were on a press tour, you were on Sway's Universe, you were on his radio show, and you were asked to judge a freestyle. How do you think you would have done had he asked you to freestyle yourself?
I wouldn't have done well, but also I didn't want to have to judge it because it felt strange. This guy called in. He was driving to work, and he did this, what I thought was like pretty good, song about growing up on a reservation. And it was like, it was not my place to critique. Luckily, Sway critiqued it, and I guess he's more comfortable with it. I said, how do you feel comfortable doing that, criticizing people? He said, I've been doing it so long and we just hang up if it's bad. But I said, oh my God, it would hurt that guy's feelings. This is too obscure a story to tell really anybody, but it's your show, so I'm not really ruining, it's not really ruining my reputation. Yeah.
Ouch, all right.
No. I just mean like it's too obscure a story, but yeah, I was on Sway's show. Do you listen to the show?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is pop. Yeah, I wasn't sure if people know about it. Okay, yeah, so he critiques this every day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think about doing radio?
No, I don't think I have the face for it.
That's a good response. That's good.
Thank you.
That's good.
So, in acting and writing, which are both careers that are extremely subjective, how do you approach improvement? Because it's not something that can be weighed like super technically or on a scale. How do you approach bettering yourself and changing your creative process?
Yes, I don't watch anything I've done. I don't watch movies I've been in. I find it just excruciating. Is it okay? Can I ask you how you feel? Do you watch yourself? Is it strange?
I try to. It's hard. It's hard. I find it very difficult. I used to edit videos that I had filmed,
did. So you were
and
forced, obviously.
it became a habit. I try to now to better myself, but I find it too difficult.
Right. I find it really uncomfortable, and it just discourages me, and so I try to like stay away from it. So I don't know if I'm really improving because I'm not really critiquing myself. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the more you do something, the better you get at it. I'm sure you found that, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the fly fishing episode to the mistletoe episode, I think you probably have discovered your trajectory. And yeah, for me, I feel like I get better at my job the more I do it, but I'm not really kind of engaging with it in a way to kind of criticize it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So fans approach you all the time. I imagine you get stopped every time. And they probably approach you at pretty similar projects. You probably get approached about things like Zombieland and Batman vs. Superman a lot.
Right,
What are projects that you wish you got stopped for about more?
Probably like this other movie you mentioned when you were introducing me, this movie, The Art of Self-Defense. It takes place in this, I don't even know how to describe it. It takes place in this very strange universe where the characters speak in this very odd way. And it was just the most fun I've ever had acting in something, and I wish I could do it all the time, but they just don't ever, movies like that don't get made too much.
I loved it.
You saw it?
Yeah, no,
Isn't
I
it
loved
odd?
it.
Very good.
Yeah, the characters are speaking in such an odd way.
Very idiosyncratic.
Exactly. So, and also, not a lot of people, I don't know, it seems like a very specific sense of humor that, people like you are in comedy really like, but like general audiences probably don't understand what's happening. And so to me, it was just the most interesting experience, but they just are few and far between.
And so how does your creative process come about? Like what happens, how do you get a script, look at it, and then decide, am I going to be in this movie? Or how do you, things like that.
I mean, 90% of movies that are written, 99.9% of movies ever written don't get made. And they go through this like really long like vetting process. So first a writer will write something and they'll send it to like if they have an agent, and the agent will say, actually this one doesn't work, but maybe the last one you wrote was good. And then those scripts then get sent to producers and actors, and all of those people serve as like vetting processes, so like actors, if they can't get an actor to sign on to a movie, it won't get made. So a lot of these movies that get sent to me are movies that will never get made, and they're not very good, and they're just kind of like trying to be kind of commercial movies. They try to have like a cool premise or something, and they're usually kind of just not that good because they're not that artful. They're usually trying to be more like commercial. I'm being overly maybe cynical now, but a lot of times you just read a page and it says like, he walks out and, oh, he could gain a few pounds, or, something like in the script already criticizing the character or something, And so like, I don't do those things. And so, yeah, most of the things are just not good and you just don't read them. And then like, again, like a movie like The Art of Self-Defense, just to use it as an example, on the first page, it was so cleverly put together and the dialogue was so unusual. I read like 6 pages of it and I wrote the director an email and said like, can I meet you? This is brilliant. Can we do this? So the ones that are great stand out so clearly.
And so in 2019, you did Zombieland 2. How is it to reprise the role of Columbus after 10 years of not shooting that movie? Because Zombieland 1 came out in 2009.
Yeah, exactly. So that's an interesting experience, especially with what we were just talking about, because like they had, after the first movie was popular, they wrote a script like that next year, and the script, the movie, it was the same writers. These guys also wrote Deadpool, and the script, like, I thought it was good, but the movie studio who made it thought it was like maybe too expensive or something, so they scrapped the sequel. And then over the course of 10 years, they had other writers come in and write sequels, and the scripts were never really right. They would send them to us, and all the actors, we'd speak on the phone all the time saying like, this one doesn't seem good enough, it has to be great because the first movie was so good. And so it took like 10 years for them to like get the original writers back and write a good script. And then when we read it, we all thought this is great. So when we showed up to set, I think we all felt like this is good enough. We're all so happy to be here. It didn't feel like the kind of thing like, oh, we could do anything because the first movie was successful. It felt like, oh, we have to make sure it's as good. So we felt the pressure, but we also knew that the script was good, the characters are good, all the actors are good and funny people. So it felt like the margin for error was pretty wide.
Mm-hmm. And you're involved with an amazing charity here in Bloomington, the Middle Way House. And I'm just curious as to if people want to get involved here in Bloomington, how do they go about reaching out? How do they go about getting connected?
Oh, well, thank you so much. You're so sweet to mention that. You know, we live between here and New York, and anytime I meet anybody that's gone to IU, I always ask them, do you know Middle Way House? So my mother-in-law ran this domestic violence shelter in town for 35 years. It's just the most wonderful organization. It's a domestic violence organization, sexual assault, rape crisis center, a trafficking agency, you know, human trafficking prevention agency. And you know, so they have tons of volunteers, student volunteers. It's also important not just for volunteers, but that people know that it's here and know that it's a resource if, God forbid, they need to use it. What's wonderful about it is that it's not, you know, it's not really affiliated with the university, but it's on campus. You know, it's right here in this town, and it's so important because it's such an important resource for, you know, college kids and also for the, you know, non-college residents of Southern Indiana.
Absolutely.
Thanks for mentioning it.
No problem. It does great for Bloomington. It's been an important part of the Bloomington community and will continue to be. So
Thank
we
you for saying
that.
all that. Yeah.
And speaking of Bloomington, when did this love affair with Bloomington start? Because like you've said, you've lived between New York and Bloomington, and you've always had a little piece of Bloomington in your heart. How did this love affair with Bloomington start?
Yes, my love affair with Bloomington started with a love affair with a real human, which I met Anna, you know, like more than half my life ago, and she's her mother, of course, is Toby Strout, who passed 3 years ago, unfortunately, but ran Middle Way House. So Anna comes from like what I would call Bloomington royalty, which is people who are like doing wonderful social justice work, because that's what I think of Bloomington as. And so Anna took me to Bloomington. I'd never, you know, growing up as, you know, my family were three generations New York, and then before that Poland, and so like Indiana was like something that was just not on our map, you know. And so when I came to Indiana, I was just like, I don't know, I pictured, I don't know, breaking away in corn, and I didn't realize, well, they're both true, but there's also other stuff as well. And so like, yeah, it was just this amazing thing to realize that there's this unbelievable town of, you know, Bloomington in a state that I kind of always thought of as rural and, you know, kind of not, you know, coming from the same politics as my family. And then to come here and realize that this is like the most interesting place on earth. I mean, you have like the best music school in the country. You have the most curious people on the planet. There's the Stone Age Institute, whose founders are right here in the front row. You know, of like most interesting, you know, vast anthropological holdings in the world. Like, and so there's just so much here because of the university. And it occurred to me, and this is my ignorant, you know, my ignorant coastal, you know, bubble of an upbringing, is that, you know, there are places like this probably all over the world that I know, certainly all over the country, that I'm just not privy to because I don't go to them. And so I just, you know, fell in love with the town and the people in it, and I'm so happy to kind of call it a second home.
And so I imagine that you're probably pretty involved with like the culture of the arts here. Like, do you have any favorite organizations that you like to belong to, like Bloomington Playwright Society? Do you like any sort of concerts or any sort of bands that you have go-tos or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much as reclusive as one can get, while still not being admitted to a you know, an institution. And so I really like to stay indoors. So when I go out, it's like it's pretty rare. My wife goes to everything, one thing a night, and you know, she'll take me to the highlights. You know, so we go see music on campus. My father-in-law is involved with the BPP, the Bloomington Playwrights Project, of course, and you know, we try to see as much as possible, which is like a big thing for me, especially now we have a 3-year-old, which is kind of more of an excuse for me to stay indoors, but also also obviously really needs diaper changing and stuff. But you know, but every time we do anything here, it just strikes me that like in New York City, where we, you know, primarily live, like you usually have to pay like $100 to see something. Usually have to get tickets like months in advance because everything's like sold out, and the quality is like usually like on par with stuff we see here that's much cheaper, that's more accessible, that people are not like kind of like stabbing each other in the back to get a ticket to. And so it just occurs to me like in New York is this kind of like rat race of culture where like people are like kind of, I don't know, turning it into this kind of ambitious competition. And here it's like a kind of celebration of the arts. And this kind of strikes me as like a different relationship with arts and media and entertainment and culture.
And I think Bloomington is very lucky to have you.
Oh, thanks a lot.
All right. Before we let you go, we're going to play a little game. So we're going to roll a clip to set it up. Let's play that clip.
This is the compilation.
For our very first episode of Not Too Late, come back next week and watch me play some games with our special guest, which may or may not be Jesse Eisenberg. Tune in next week where I'm going to play patty cake with my old pal Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg and I will learn how to cup stack together. Jesse Eisenberg and I learn the meaning of Christmas. Jesse Eisenberg and I are going to ding-dong ditch the dean. Come back next week to see me play some Plinko with Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg and I share some scary stories. Check out next week where Jesse Eisenberg and I reinvent the Macarena. Where Jesse Eisenberg and I get sued for copyright infringement. And tune in next time where Jesse Eisenberg and I will learn the true meaning of Hanukkah. Jesse Eisenberg and I will learn to play backgammon. Jesse Eisenberg and I, we're going to go to Dave & Buster's. It'll be fun. Jesse Eisenberg and I will judge houses at House-O-Rama. Join us next time with Jesse Eisenberg and I meet your dad. Jesse Eisenberg and I check our candy for razor blades. Jesse Eisenberg and I kiss under the mistletoe. Jesse Eisenberg and I make a risky investment into a shady frozen yogurt pop-up shop. Jesse Eisenberg and I make sweet, sweet pudding. Thank you. As you can see from the clip, we've promised our viewers that we would do a lot with you, Jesse. So today, we're going to try and fulfill as many of those promises as we can to prove that I am not a liar. Feel free to say no to any of these challenges. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's stand that up. Let's bring our table in for our first few challenges.
Okay.
Number 1, cup stacking.
Was that number 1?
That was number 1. We're not doing them in order of the video,
got
but
it. Okay,
do you know how to cup stack?
No.
All right.
I mean, they already look stacked. So it seems like accomplished the
I'll
first
do it
goal.
first, and then let's see if you can monkey see, monkey do kind of copy me. All right. Sure. I'm not doing very good, so don't copy me exactly.
Okay.
All right.
I see what's happening. Sure.
Got it?
Yeah.
And then, boom.
Okay.
And then I think you do one of these.
Ah, okay.
There you go.
That was the last thing made up for the first part. That was good.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Is it a 4 base? Or are we
I did 4 base.
Okay, sure.
If you wanna outdo me and do 5, you can. But
No.
I don't know if we have enough cups for that. So you might.
No. Just trying to get through this and go home. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay.
All right, now Kim.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Is this the part of the game though? Oh, he lost?
Oh no, he lost.
Okay.
All right, there's one checked off.
Okay.
All right, number 2, learn how to play backgammon.
Oh, okay.
All right, so now we're just gonna read the rule set out loud.
Okay, so we're doing just a literal.
Yeah. All right. So, you want to read that?
Yeah. Before play, set up game as shown.
All right.
Choose colors. Each player sits nearest.
Which color do you want?
I'll do the brown.
You do the brown?
Yeah.
All right. So let's roll the dice and then say we learned.
Okay.
7.
7. We got it.
All right, you
We got
learned.
it. That was
The
great.
game has been completed.
It's easier than I expected. Yeah.
All right. Your next job is you have to check this piece of candy for razor blades.
Oh, right. Of course.
All right.
Is that a Halloween-themed episode? Oh, there is one here.
There's one in there?
It's good we checked.
We knew.
Yeah.
That's a good parent.
It's funny, you don't check 99 times. The 100th is the
Exactly.
one time you have it. So
all right,
that's
so
good.
now we got to go ding dong ditch the dean. So we got to walk over there. The dean lives in this studio actually.
That's really convenient. Yeah.
And he also doesn't have a doorbell, so we're just going to have to knock on the door really quick.
Sure.
And then we're going to have to run.
Okay, yeah.
All right, you want to knock or you want me to?
Let's do it at the same time.
All right,
ready?
3, 2, 1.
Let's go. Yeah.
Who's that?
Hey, it's the dean. He looks really young.
Yeah. He's a prodigy.
All right. Rate houses at House-O-Rama. What would you rate this house?
A 7.
7.
Yep.
It's a good-looking house. Congrats to that house.
Yeah.
Patty cake. Do you know how to play patty cake?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, wait. So I guess
And then that.
Yeah.
There we go. Patty cake is done. All right. Make sweet pudding. So we got this and this. I think we just pour and then stir.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Is this how you imagined it?
No. That looks delicious.
Yeah.
Would you like to try a bite?
No, thank you.
You know? Would anybody in the audience? No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, somebody wants to try it.
Oh, wow. All right. We're going to give it to this lucky audience member who wants to eat a bite of pudding. All right. Eat it. Tell us if it's good.
It's really sweet.
Wow. He gets to keep that.
That's exactly what we were going for.
All right. Really? We now have to invest in a shady yogurt stand.
Yeah.
Is there anybody...
I'll invest. I got some frozen yogurts.
Frozen yogurt.
Frozen yogurts. Anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody want some money? Yeah. All right.
You'll get me back later, right?
Oh, yeah, probably not. Yeah, great.
Okay, perfect.
Great.
Awesome.
No, you're gonna
Thank
keep
you
that.
so much.
Thanks, bud.
Awesome. I hope there's really good returns. All
I
right,
think that
next.
was a good investment.
Meet your dad.
Wait, my dad?
My dad.
Oh, got it.
All right, so we'll
You're
call
talking
him
about
really
yourself
quick.
in the second.
Let's hope he's not working.
Yeah.
He might be. I don't know what he does.
This is a good time to ask him.
It is a great time. All right, let's see what we got. Hopefully we have service.
Yeah, we do.
Come on, Dad.
This is good TV.
This is great TV. They love waiting and watching a
Yeah,
phone. Come on, Dad. He's never let me down before except for once or twice, maybe three times.
Sure.
All right, we'll leave that
okay,
there
great.
for now.
Wow.
All right.
That's the saddest one of
Tell
all.
a scary story. Do you have a scary story?
Sure.
All right. What do we got? What's your scary story?
Can you go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is the story of the bloody finger.
Oh.
It was a man.
Sure.
He had a finger.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so bloody
Oh, God.
that he needed a Band-Aid.
Really?
Yeah. That's all I got.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Felt like a true story.
Did you feel like you were there?
Yeah. Just
Out
for
of
the
nowhere,
the
like at a
Band-Aid part.
CVS pharmacy?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a scary story?
I can't beat that. The
All
bloody
right.
finger and the Band-Aid? No.
What is the meaning of Hanukkah?
The meaning of Hanukkah is that they learned how to, keep oil for, they thought it was going to be for one night, 8 nights. It's about oil conservation.
Oh, wow. What a great meaning.
Yeah.
The meaning of Christmas?
Probably a similar thing.
Oil conservation?
Yeah.
Awesome. Fossil fuels are great.
Yeah.
All right. Kiss under the mistletoe.
Where's that?
Right there.
I felt like this is the one you thought I could object to.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Can we hug under the mistletoe?
We can hug under the mistletoe.
Great.
Absolutely.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. Perfect. Reinvent the Macarena. How do you want to change it?
Oh,
We
let's
start
see.
off like this.
How does it? Yeah. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? How do you know this? This is before you're born. No.
Start here, or does it go here?
No, it goes to the head, right?
Well, why don't we change that?
Let's go here first.
Boom.
Yeah.
Start at the hips.
They're gonna be so embarrassed when they see that we did this and they didn't think of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've now officially reinvented the Macarena.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's checked off.
So actually, we're gonna need you to stop. We're
Oh.
suing you.
Are you the owner of the Macarena?
I am the owner of the Macarena.
We just got a
Oh.
cease and desist.
Yeah, I
Boom.
can tell by that sign.
Sued for copyright.
Oh my God.
All right, we've got 2 more. Time to play Plinko.
Oh, that's what Plinko is. Sure.
All right,
Okay.
here you go. And so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't bring you to Dave & Buster's.
I know.
We don't have enough wire for that. So instead, I'm bringing Dave & Buster's to you.
Thank you.
This is your Dave & Buster's game, and if you win,
Yeah.
you get a Dave & Buster's prize.
I hope it's a guitar with the logo on it.
It is.
Yeah.
So go ahead,
Wait, what
plink
do
your Plinko in.
But what do you mean I win? What,
You gotta play Plinko.
No, but what wins? What that all just.
If you make it in here.
There's no chance I'm not gonna make it in here.
Well, what if it gets stuck?
Is that? Oh, really? Does that happen?
It could. Oh!
Wow.
Your very
Thank
own
you so much.
Dave & Buster's guitar.
Wait, where did you actually get this?
Dave & Buster's. I spent 3 years saving for that thing.
Really?
I'm a saver, not a spender.
That's really great.
And then I've spent it.
Yeah. Ultimately, you did become a spender. I hope your dad calls back.
He might.
I feel a little bad for you.
Here's what we'll do. We'll
Yeah.
press that really quick. Maybe he'll answer. But before we do,
Yeah.
before he answers, I want to thank all of you for coming out to this extra special episode of.
Oh my God! Wait,
there he is.
We got him.
Hey, what's up? Hey, Dad.
Hello, sir.
Hey, it's Jesse.
I just won a Dave & Buster's guitar.
All right, Dad, we gotta go. Bye.
Wow.
All right, there it was.
Wow,
that was
a
my dad.
Great Deus Machina. Look it up. That's
Yeah.
great. That's the ending of a play when God comes down and says, "Look it up. It's great."
My
So,
dad's
yeah.
God?
in this very limited scenario.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. I want to thank all of you for coming out to this extra special episode of Not Too Late. I want to thank you to the Stone Age Institute for helping make this all possible. Thank you very much for that. Check out their website, stoneageinstitute.org, to learn more about the great work that they do. Also, be sure to check out the Middleway House at middlewayhouse.org to learn how to get involved. Our final thank you goes to Jesse Eisenberg. We really do appreciate you coming out here today. Make sure to see this guy's movies, read his books, see his plays. He does it all. As this extra special episode comes to a close, I want to remind all of you, it is not too late for your dreams to come true. I'll see you all next time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
That was great.
Thank you. You can keep that.